Edge at 11 starts now.
And tonight on The Edge, a story of good and evil. Surveillance cameras recording Good Samaritans catching children as they jump from a burning apartment building in the middle of the night.
Detroit police discover this fire was intentionally set against the family. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack joins us live. Jessica, it's alleged the suspect has done this before, and it could have been a different outcome if it weren't for some heroic neighbors here.
You know, I have seen some things in this video that we're about to show you only here on Fox 2 is absolutely captivating. The way that these neighbors, just strangers, banded together to help save these two little girls is unbelievable. And to think, as you said, Dave, this fire was set on purpose, and the guy suspected of doing it has a history of this kind of thing. Take a look. Neighbors clustered together, a mattress at their feet, looking up 5 stories to an 8-year-old girl you're about to see jump for her life. She hurls herself out the window, caught, not a scratch on her. Still trapped above, her 14-year-old sister and mom, fire blocking their only exit, the door. The window is the only option. The 8-year-old piling up clothes on the mattress to try and cushion her family's falls. Her sister comes down next, in a panic, hitting the mattress hard, breaking both ankles and her wrist. Other injuries too, but she lived.
Many times people who try to jump out windows that high, it's a different outcome.
Detroit Fire Commissioner Charles Sims says it was all caught by green light cameras positioned outside their apartment building in the New Center neighborhood in Detroit earlier this month. Inside, security cameras capturing the sinister side to this story. 43-year-old Marion Scruggs allegedly dousing the outside of the woman and her daughter's door with gasoline, lighting a cigarette, then using it to set it all on fire. Scruggs apparently used to be in a relationship with the woman.
This person tried to kill not just the whole family, but any and everybody that was in that building.
But what happened outside is what they're focused on. The neighbors catching that little girl. This man ripping off his own sweatshirt to keep the 14-year-old warm, then carrying her to safety. The Detroit firefighters who used their ladder to save mom. And Detroit police catching Scruggs within 24 hours after he lit this cigarette.
And here's a living example of those 3 coming together and saving the lives of people who were victimized by domestic violence.
Scruggs has a history of domestic violence. We learned back in 2019 he was charged for lighting a girlfriend's home on fire purposely to trap her dogs inside. One of them died. Unclear if it's the same victim this time. Commissioner Sims says for these folks, instinct kicked in out here, saying most people do want to do good.
You know, some people don't need the attention or the accolades, but we want to show them that not only are firefighters, EMTs, and police officers are heroes, but even citizens out there in the neighborhood, they're heroes as well.
The 8-year-old little girl and her mom, they are okay, but the 14-year-old girl, we talked about this story, 2 broken ankles, a broken wrist, and other issues, but she is recovering. The tough part, they will have to find a new place to live, and especially around the holidays, absolutely difficult there. We're thinking of that family. Now, as for those Good Samaritans that stepped in, they helped. They walked away and didn't want any credit. The fire commissioner and the police chief, they want to recognize those folks. So if you know who stepped in and helped, they're asking them to come forward. Reporting live on Detroit's West Side, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, you can't even imagine the desperation that family must have been going through to hurl themselves out of the window there. Do we know what's going to happen next for the suspect in all of this?
Suspect has been charged and arraigned, a list of felonies, and he has those priors. I have a feeling he is not going to be getting out anytime soon, but you got the video there. It's a pretty damning case against him.
Certainly is. Thank you, Jessica.
A foul odor on the campus of Macomb Community College leads police to the body of a man who has been missing for weeks. We're told 36-year-old Jason Thompson was found in a vent at the Performing Arts Center on the Clinton Township campus. Officers found the body on Sunday night. Thomas went missing back in October. Police say there is no reason to suspect foul play. Well, switching gears here, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, whether you like it or not.
Beautiful, beautiful. Snow squalls have been reported all across our area. Rich Luderman, is it coming to an end yet, or what?
They're starting to wind down. We did have that snow squall warning for southern Washington, southern Wayne counties. That has been discontinued, but easily to see these lake effect snow bands coming over from Lake Michigan all the way into our part of the state. Here's that band. It did cross I-94 in the last hour. It's starting to weaken, but still some heavier snow showers south of Ann Arbor, south of Metro Airport, along I-75 and I-275 in southern Wayne County. Certainly some snowy conditions that will drop a quick inch. How about live pictures from Gaylord? All snow-covered roads up there at 19 degrees. You can see all the advisories and warnings for lake effect snow to our west, in the UP especially, and also tomorrow if your travel plans take you down around Cleveland or Erie or Buffalo, some big snows expected. For us, 34 degrees. That was it today. Snowfall, not a whole lot, but certainly with the brisk and cold weather, it just looks and feels like the middle part of winter. It's not even December yet. How about these current readings? Low to mid-20s for a lot of us. You factor in that breeze, and how about the current wind chills? There are some spots in single digits. Pontiac and Flint, 9s. There's 10 Adrian, 17 wind chill over at City Airport. Cold air all across the region. 13 in Green Bay, 18 Chicago. We're at 25, 27 east of us in Toronto. So watch that next cold front reinforcing the already cold air that's in place. So no warm up tomorrow. For Wednesday, we'll start to turn the corner. Then by Thursday, we're going to be back into the 40s. You'll see it all in the 7-day. Snow showers continue, especially south of I-94. For the next few hours, we're down to 20. Tomorrow, 30 degrees for a high. That's your Tuesday forecast right there. Some morning flurries. We do finally warm up Thursday into Friday with some rain showers likely to end the work week. Taryn and Dave, a full check coming up in 10.
Rich, well, all day we've been watching this one. Quite the sight on the Detroit River. A freighter grounded near Belle Isle.
As Fox 2's Dave Kinchin reports, crews had hoped it would be cruising along the river again tonight, but things didn't go as planned.
Damaged surveyors returned to the Detroit shore as teams continue to work on a plan to free this bulk ship carrying 21,000 tons of wheat from Canada to Italy. It ran aground near the Belle Isle Bridge Monday morning.
It's kind of shallow up there on that area of the river, and the ship was in the anchorage, and somehow it's not in the anchorage anymore.
Sam Buchanan runs the J.W. Westcott mailboat service between Detroit and Canada, among other things.
This job that I do here is pretty cool because it's different every day.
And on this day, it's a stranded ship.
With that ship, we changed pilots on it, and then later on we needed surveyors for it. So if anything else happens, or if they were there for an extended amount of time, we might be called upon to get groceries and things like that.
He says tugboats are working to get the ship free, a process that could take days.
It all depends. If the wind is cooperating with you and the water level rises, then it'll be a little bit easier. Mainly it's by the west. If you have a west wind, your water level will drop in the river and you'll have less water to float. If you have an east wind, then your water level will rise in the Detroit River. So the weather plays a big factor in whether you're going to have an easy time getting something free or not.
The Coast Guard says no one got hurt and that there's been no pollution concerns or damage. Buchanan says this type of thing happens more than you think.
There's been ships in other places in the world where they've gotten stuck and then the weather was so bad it's actually destroyed the ship. So that's not going to be the case here, but you know, in some places if you get violent enough weather, once the ship is aground, it's at the mercy of the weather.
The Westcott crew were the ones who saved an Ambassador Bridge worker who fell from the bridge into the river this past summer. Another example of the wide-ranging calls for their services.
I'm glad we rescued that fella on that day in July rather than having to deal with a day like tonight when the sea is kind of rough and the wind's blowing and everything is freezing.
I did talk with one of those surveyors when they came back to land. They could not tell us anything that they saw out there. They say they weren't allowed to talk to the press. We do know crews are going to try again at 8 o'clock in the morning. Along the riverfront, Dave Kinchin on the Edge.
Pull over. Pull over now.
Oh, that's a fleeing forklift you're seeing there, caught on dash cam in Ann Arbor. An outside for sure, but the story gets even stranger. The slow-moving suspect, only a 12-year-old boy. We're told he stole the large construction vehicle from Forsyth Middle School, where he goes to school. During the slow but long pursuit, the vehicle hit as many as 10 vehicles as it weaved in and out of neighborhoods. The child was eventually stopped, taken into custody at M14 in Godfredson. The punishment will likely be more severe than a school detention.
Well, the show must go on. And as of now, the Fillmore plans to have its doors open tomorrow for the Chris Young concert, despite this destructive overnight crash at the ticket box office. A woman was arrested at the scene after plowing into the building around 2:30 this morning. Fortunately, there was no damage reported inside the theater. MGM workers recently voted no on a tentative deal and are rolling the dice on a better contract.
That gamble now has strikers striking out in the snow and the cold.
Try to keep the generators full of gas and keep them running. That's pretty much the only heat that we have out here.
Walking, of course, it's windy now, so it doesn't help whether you walk or whether you sit because the wind is blowing so today.
2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of pants, 2 shirts, a sports bra, a heavy coat, a scarf, and gloves. My feet are frozen. I don't like that feeling.
Although striking workers picketing in 4-hour shifts, they've been striking now for a month. The workers at Hollywood and Motor City casinos have already agreed to their new contracts. While we're currently on the road to the Super Bowl, most Lions fans aren't even thinking about the draft next year.
No, the team behind planning the event in Detroit shared some of its playbook during a news conference at Ford Field today. And to maximize fan experience, all draft-related activities will be free. With the draft 150 days away, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan was among several city and state leaders who spoke about the joint effort to put on a successful event in April.
We are going to hold the NFL draft in the heart of downtown Detroit. So you'll be a part of the city. The businesses will be a part of it. And people who have only read about Detroit in the national newspapers will get a chance to see the beauty for themselves.
Next year's draft will be held from April 25th through the 27th in downtown Detroit.
All right.